How are you, ma'am?
Yeah, fine. So last time lab లో ఎంతవరకు చేశారమ్మా? కంటిన్యూ బ్రేక్ పాస్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ 3 అయిపోయా, ఆల్ ద 3 లూప్ కంట్రోల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్.
Ma'am, for CH in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, that question, ma'am.
So is there any problem with that question?
No, ma'am. Like last time when you did the class, in between it was closed due to some network issues.
Yes. That was closed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So here we are using a break statement. I guess you got this output, INST. Did you get the output or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no problem with this program. What about this continue? Did you get the output?
I tried it, ma'am. I got, ma'am. Complete I got.
But you did not get. Your microphone is off.
Ma'am, actually I did only the before one. This one was not taught, ma'am. Like this.
Okay,
slide we did
fine.
not.
So what does a continue statement do? Continue is also one of the loop control statement. So continue will always skip the current iteration and it goes with the next iteration. So in this program, if you take the example, here we have taken the string Institute of Aeronautical Engineering and I is our variable which is reading this string character by character. So whenever initially capital I and small I both are different because their ASCII values are different. So when capital I is compared with small I, the condition is false. So capital I is printed here. If you observe, same is the case with NST also. Whenever the value of I becomes equal to I is compared with I, both ASCII values are equal. So what does this continue statement do? This continue statement will skip this current iteration. Okay. And the I value will be moved to the next character. That is your T. So that is the reason if you observe the output downwards, you will see that the I is not printed. Are you able to see the output below? Please, I need response.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
reason the small I is not printed. If you observe the whole string, whenever there is an I, that I is not printed because of this continue statement. What does this continue statement will do? This is a loop control statement which is used to skip the current iteration and it will be followed with the next iteration. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the purpose of a continue statement. Same, I have taken one more example for continue statement. Here vowel, it is containing a list of a sequence of characters here. You are entering a string here and that string is inputted into a string variable and you are reading each character using a for loop here. So whenever it encounters a vowel, you are giving a continue statement. So what is the purpose of this continue statement? The continue statement will skip the current iteration and it goes with the next iteration. So whenever I is equivalent to an vowel, that iteration is skipped. So that is the reason we have entered a string apple. So whenever A, because we have given in the list of vowels all capital A, E, I, O, U and also small a, E, I, O, U. So whenever I is compared again as the capital A because it happens to be a vowel, so it is skipped. Okay, only P, double P, L are printed. Even E is not printed because it happens to be a vowel. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So third loop control statement is your pass statement. Pass statements means it is a null statement. Whenever null statement means it is not like a comment. So it is not ignored by the interpreter, but rather it is not executed by the interpreter. So there will be a viva question. What is the difference between a comment and a pass statement? Comments are always ignored by the interpreter, whereas pass statements, pass is a null statement and it is not ignored by the interpreter. Rather, it is not executed by the interpreter. So you should make a note of it. And these pass statements, they are also used as a placeholders. Means whenever you want to code any function, whenever you want to reuse a function, so you can use a pass. This pass statement, it acts as a placeholder. What is the meaning of a placeholder? Means it will accommodate some piece of code can be accommodated on a later date. So whenever you want to extend your application, you can make use of this pass statement. So you can fill that code with a pass statement, and in future, this pass statement can be replaced by a piece of code. So this is the way whenever you want to extend any of your application, you can do it using a pass statement. Is that clear? So I just explain you with an example for a pass statement. So here we have taken a list of numbers, and using a for loop, we are trying to read each and every element of the list. So you are giving a condition, if I modulus 2 is equals to 0, it is pass. That means this statement will not be executed. So the value of I is initially 10. 10 is read from the list. And because 10 modulus 2 is equals to 0, this is not executed. So this 10 value is not executed, and the control moves to the next element, that is your 23. The condition is false, so the 23 will be printed. Similarly, for 24 also, the condition becomes true and this statement will not be executed. Same is the case with 54. So at last, only two elements will be printed, that is your 23 and 55. Am I clear? Or you want me to repeat?
Clear, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I think you have these programs. You need not make a note of them, right?
Ma'am, send
Because I want you to sit properly. So any guesses how to get this pattern? Because please switch on your video. C3 also. I want everybody to switch on your videos, please. So how to get a star pattern like this? In order to get this star pattern, you need two loops. So you need two for loops, one nested inside the other. So here you are seeing the pattern here. You need 5 stars here with a space in between. So we are taking a for loop. So you have two counters here. One is I and j variables. So initially the value of I is equals to 1 and the j is also equals to 1. Here we have put a condition when I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1, I is equals to 5 and j is equals to 5. For any of these four conditions, even if one condition is true, it has to print a star and also a space. This space is printed using your end. Okay, so because the value of I is 1 and j is also 1, you have got a star here. A star will get printed here. Okay, and after that, a star will be followed by a space. After that, the value of your j becomes incremented. J is 2. Still, the value of your I is 1. So, one more star will be printed. This will happen till the value of j is equals to 5. Because even if any one condition is true, a star will be printed followed by a space. Is that clear?
Repeat, ma'am.
Repeat. Yes, yes. Good. Good. So here we want this pattern to be displayed. So in order to get this pattern, what we are doing, we are taking two loops here. Okay. And you have two variables I and j here. And I is from 1 to 6, j is also from 1 to 6. Okay. Initially, the value of I is here 1 and j is 1. You know, it's a nested loop. So this nested loop will end till the j value, the condition of the j will be false. Okay, till that time j will be executed. So for value of I is 1 now here, and j is also 1. So I is equals to 1, j is equals to 1. The condition is true. There will be a star printed followed by a space because of this end. After that, j will be incremented. This is your inner loop. Please observe, if else both are in your inner for loop. Okay. So your j value will get incremented to 2, but still the value of your I is 1. Okay. So because I is equals to 1, the condition is true. Again, one more star is printed on the same line. Please observe, all the 5 stars will be printed on the same line because this is a j loop. Are you getting? J will be taking the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When the value of j becomes 6, the condition will be false and the control will be out of your inner for loop. Okay. So now your I also will get incremented. Before I getting incremented, the control should be transferred to the beginning of the line. That will happen only with this escape sequence print/r. Are you getting or not? In first line, yes, this /r is only useful in order to keep your control at the beginning of the line. So this is an escape sequence. So whenever you want the control to be at the beginning of the line, you have to use print/r. Okay. If you observe, this is outside your inner loop. Okay. And this is indented with your external for loop. Are you getting or not? Is that okay? So all the 5 stars will be printed with the spaces in between for the values of j 1 to 5. Okay. So your inner loop is, now the condition becomes false and the control comes out of the inner loop, and the control will be taken to the beginning of the line using the statement print/r. Is that okay? Please, I need response to continue.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
fine. So now the value of I will get incremented to 2. But again, the j values will vary from 1 to 5. Is that okay? So again, a star will be printed and also a space will be printed. But after that, j will be incremented to 2 and I is also 2. So none of the conditions are true here. So no star will be printed till I value becomes, j value becomes 4, only spaces will be printed. But as soon as the value of j becomes 5, here the condition is true and 1 star will be printed. Is that okay? Whenever the j becomes 6, the control will come out of the inner loop and again the control will be taken to the beginning of the line using your print/r. Is that okay? Now I will be incremented to 3. And again j will be 1. Because this condition is true, again 1 star will be printed with a space followed by a space. After that, j will be incremented and only the spaces will be printed because it will be going to the else part of the statement. Because in else part you have spaces, right? Because this any of the conditions, it is turning false. So the control will be going to the else part and only spaces will be printed. Till j value becomes 5, here again the condition is true, again a star will be printed. Is it understood or not? I need response, please.
Understood, ma'am.
Okay. So this will happen till whenever the value of I becomes 5, what will happen? Again, I is equals to 5, j is equals to 1 here. Two conditions are true here. Please understand, I is equals to 5 and j is equals to 1. Here again a star will be printed followed by a space. Because I will be 5, right? Though j is incremented to 2, the I is equals to 5. This condition is true. So again, one more star will be printed. This will happen till j becomes 6. So till j is equals to 5, all the stars will be printed. As soon as the value of j becomes 6, the condition is false, the control will come out of the loop. And I is also incremented to 6. So the control will be out of the 2 for loops. Please, you make a note of this program. You try it at home. I'll just let me know by tomorrow morning. If you still have any doubts, I'll discuss the same program in tomorrow's class as well. Is that okay? Do you want to make a note of it? Nobody is responding.
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute,
Yeah,
ma'am.
please make a note of it. A bit faster.
Ma'am, what is I and J?
What is IN? What is IN?
J.
Yeah, these two are variables, integer variables, right? You need a variable, right, for a for loop?
Yes, ma'am. We did not mention it.
Yeah, you need not, because this Python happens to be a dynamically typed language. You need not mention the type of the variable.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
You can execute this, then only you will get an idea, right? Why 9 members are absent only for this class? The same is the attendance even in the morning also.
Same, ma'am.
Okay. Did you finish?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Over.
Everyone, can I go to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please look at this program. It is also same. I have just made a small modification. If you look at it, so whenever the value of I becomes equal to j, I ask them to print $1. Logic is same. Only the thing is I have added one more elif condition here. So whenever the value of I and j becomes equal, then it should print $here. The logic goes same for the first line. When coming to the second line, the value of I is 2 here, j is 1. So it will be printing a star if you look at the second line. And as soon as the j becomes incremented to 2, I value and j value are 2 here. So $1 will be printed. After that, j will be incremented to 3. So it will not obey any of the condition. It goes to the else part and all the 3 spaces will be printed. After that, whenever the value of j becomes 5 here, again one more star will be printed. Same is the logic. The control should be transferred to the beginning of the line using the print /r statement. Okay. In the third line also, when value of I is here 3, For j is equals to 1, only one star will be printed. After that, a space will be printed. Whenever the value of j becomes 3, I and j are equal, again a dollar will be printed. If you look at the third line, it will be followed by spaces again. As soon as the value of j becomes 5 here, one more star will be printed. Again, the control will be transferred to the beginning of the line. Here the value of I is 4 and j is equals to 1. Again, one star will be printed. When the j is incremented to 2, none of the conditions are true here. And j becomes 3, none of the conditions are true. So it becomes to the else part and a space will be printed. As soon as the value of j becomes 4, I and j are 4 here. Again, a dollar will be printed in the fourth line. Please observe. Followed by a space. Again, the value of j will be incremented to 5. Because the first condition is true, a star will be printed. After that, the j loop will be, it will be over because the value of j is incremented to, it will be incremented to 6. So control comes out of the loop. Again, the control will be taken to the beginning of the line. Okay. Again, the value of I becomes 5 here and j becomes 1. So a star will be printed followed by a space. Because I is equals to 5, j is equals to 2. Because since the I value is 5, the same condition will be true again and again. So all the 5 stars will be printed with a space in between. I want you people to copy this program also. ఎలా ఉందమ్మా ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్? Are you able to follow anything?
అరే మంచిది మ్యామ్.
మంచిగుందా? Oh.
We can do it simultaneously.
ఎక్కడ అర్థం కాకపోయినా I want you people to please let me know. Okay. Because this happens to be a programming subject, I don't want any of you to get stuck. Please interrupt me even if you don't understand even a single point.
మ్యామ్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్ కాలేజ్ మ్యామ్?
Yeah, I'm in the college. Actually, I have some net issue in my department, so I just got into a classroom.
We can't take from home, ma'am.
I don't know. I should check with my HOD. I did not check with my HOD. Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Complete.
For all equal values of I and j, dollar will be printed. అయిపోయిందమ్మా? కాపీ చేసుకున్నారా?
Yes, ma'am. Over.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot hear someone saying something.
When I equal to j equal to
Yes, whenever I is equals to j is equals to 1, dollar will be printed. I j is equals to 2, dollar will be printed. I is equals to j is equals to 3, also dollar will be printed. But I is equal, no, I'm sorry here. I is equals to j is equals to 1, there will be star printed because the first condition becomes equal.
It
Okay.
will accept only first condition, ma'am.
Yes. For first condition, I j equal to 1, a star will be printed. Similarly, I j equal to 5, also star will be printed. Okay. For rest of the values 2, 3 and 4, you will get $3. Is that okay? Tomorrow, first hour, we have a class. I want you guys to practice these two programs so that you will not have any doubt, because from tomorrow, I want to start your module 3. That is data containers. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you try all the programs? Examples for continue, break and pass. I want you people to try all the programs so that it will be easy for you. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you want to make a note of these programs or you have them?
Ma'am, please send the PPT, ma'am.
Sure. I'll send it. I'll send it to Nikhila and Narsima. And also, I have one more idea, I guess. I'll be sending the same PPT to all the 3 roll numbers. Okay? I'll be sending it in an hour's time.
Ma'am, one doubt, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, what is the application of continue, ma'am?
Application of continue. See, if you look at this, so continue, it will skip the current. These are all condition triggered statements. So whenever you want to skip the current iteration, you can make use of this continue statement.
Means we don't need else also. We can directly write continue and start a
Yes.
statement.
Yes. It depends upon the context actually, because else is more generalized version. If you look at else will be more generalized. So whenever you want to skip only one iteration, this is only more applicable in a loop. If you observe it keenly, so a continue statement, it will skip the current iteration.
Ma'am, what will happen if we remove continue? If there is no continue, normal statement.
Then yes, no continue. Whenever I is equals to I, then that I will be printed. So you'll get the whole string.
So it will be the same output only, na, ma'am?
No. Here I is missing, right? If you look at the string below, I is missing here. Whenever there is a small I, that small I is not printed.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Am I clear?
So, ma'am, it is going to neglect those eyes, right? In the if.
Yes, neglect those i's. So whenever I becomes equal to small I, so because the condition is true, that particular iteration is skipped, and it will be going to the next character. It will be reading the next character.
So, ma'am, it continue is like doing the work of a skip.
Yes, it is doing the work of a skip, but it will be skipping only that iteration, only the current iteration.
అరే మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఎవరు అందరు A6 A8 A8 రిషి గాడు కదా
రిషిగాడు
గల్ల రిషి
రిషి గారు ఉండబతుకు నాకైతే అర్థం కాదు. వాడు వెరైటీ, వాడు కాలు పెడుతుండు కెమెరాకి.
వాడు ఏమనుకుంటాడేమో వాడు రిషి గాడు.
వాడు వండాడంట మంచిగా.